Welcome to this edition of the Erica Edwards Show here on Business Takeout. And today, continuing with the theme of arts and artists and making money, we have Sanaaj. Welcome. She joins us from Afiwi Groove School. Well, she's at home right now, but she is the founder, owner of Afiwi Groove School. And I'm going to let Sanaaj tell you a bit about who she is and what she does. Welcome, Sanaaj, and thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much, Erica. I'm not sure if we have a lot of time about myself because there's a lot of stories here. However, since it's business takeout, thank you so much. I will focus on that story. My name is Sanaaj Marie. It is my artistic name. Born in Jamaica, migrated to Canada as a teenager, and fell in love with African arts and culture. Today, I am the founder of Afiwi Groove School, which is a nonprofit that uses African dancing and drumming to empower, inspire, and educate young people across Canada.
Amazing. So Sanaaj, like you said, we have a lot we want to talk about today. Some really key points. And like you said, we're here on Business Takeout. So we do want to give the aspiring artists or the aspiring business people who are artists some guidance. But I do want a little bit of background. So you are in the arts. You have founded this business. Was this a trajectory you were on from day one? Is this something that you studied? Did your family support you? How did you get on this path of, dancing? Because I know that for a lot of people, especially in the Caribbean diaspora, arts is not always a very supported venture. But what's interesting is it is something that we excel at, be it singing or even poetry and so forth. So tell me briefly, how was your journey to here? Did you have that support? Was this your path? Or how did you end up getting to deciding that dance was for you?
Very good question, Erica. I have a saying that I tried to escape the arts, but the arts could not escape me. So my journey here has been very interesting. I mean, all my life I wanted to be a lawyer because my personality can be a bit spicy, as well as I believe in equal justice for everyone. However, how did I fall into the arts? When I migrated to Canada at the age of 16, I had a culture shock. I mean, leaving Jamaica as a teenager, coming to a new country and trying to figure myself out and looking at everyone, and I'm like, okay, a lot of different people here. Where do I fit in? Um, I was searching, and during that search, I have been on many paths, just trying to figure out who I am. So initially, I fell in love with salsa music because my first friend was from Puerto Rico. Then at the same time, while I was in grade nine, I had some friends who came to Canada at the same time. So one from Puerto Rico, one from Africa, which is Angola, Uganda, Nigeria. They taught me African dancing from their cultures, and I fell in love with it. Did I want to be an artist then? No. What happened was I was still searching and dropped out of high school. After I dropped out, this lady by the name of Fua Marquez, she saw me at school. So even though I was going to school, I wasn't going to class.
Ah, okay.
Right? I wasn't going to
So you
class.
were an in-house dropout. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, right. Roaming the hallways. It was Black History Month, Jarvis Collegiate, and she introduced me to West African dancing. After that, she came to me and said, you know what? You really have a gift here. As long as you are going to school, going into class, I will put you into a dance group. Long story short, she introduced me to Ngoma Drum and Dance Ensemble, which is in the Driftwood Community Center, and they are still there today. I went there, fell in love with the drums, with the dance, and that is what kept me sane. It kept me grounded because I was going through some serious anxiety and depression. It got me a scholarship to York University, and I was able to travel with them to Africa, to Ghana,
Wow.
to learn drumming and dance. I was able to travel to Trinidad and Tobago, to Haiti, to Guyana. And what I realized then was, as much as these countries are so-called third world countries, what was rich was the arts. And what kept people alive and grounded and happy was the arts. And that is when I fell in love with the arts.
I love it. So, um, I don't want to, because we do have certain things we want to touch on, but one of the things I want to emphasize for those there watching this episode, people who are in the arts, be it dance or visual arts, spoken word, whatever it is, there's a word Sanaj kept saying during that segment, which was love. She kept repeating the word love. And I know that in business, that word usually has nothing to do with anything. But what we find out, and from the guests we've already had on Business Takeout and the ones that are coming, what you're going to find out is that the people who are the most successful and the most happy tend to do something that they love. So let's keep that very unbusiness-like word in our minds as we go forward, which is love. And I think that is what the difference is with a lot of our guests on Business Takeout, is that their businesses are founded in love of something. So this is how you got started. So you were a lost young lady, couldn't find your way, was introduced to something that truly spoke to your soul, and then that proceeded to change your life in terms of travel and exposure and what you saw. So I mean, that's all well and good that you joined this other team and you're going with them and whatever, but I mean, honestly, Sanaj, how do dancers make money? And I'm not talking about our OnlyFans dancers, and no disrespect to those ladies, do your thing. But I mean, honestly, how do you make money doing something like this? So what would you say? And I'm going to give you a hard question. I know you don't like those, but
It's
what
hard.
is the formula to making an artistic venture a money maker? What makes that shift? And how long did it take you to make that shift?
That's a loaded question,
I
Erica.
know.
Very loaded question. Wow. So 7 years of trials, 7 years of taking a risk, type of risk that people wouldn't take. But ultimately, the word love, you have to love what you're doing. You have to be passionate about it, first and foremost. If you are a dancer, a drummer, spoken word artist, and you're doing it just to make money, it's not gonna work because the money does not come right away. And I know that doesn't make sense too, because there are artists who absolutely love what they do and they've been doing it for 20, 30 years and they're still not seeing the financial benefit.
Hmm.
My story, what is that after I graduated from York University, I did get in for law. I didn't take a day in law. I went undecided major, and I ended up taking a lot of artistic courses. What I found out about myself was that in high school and in university, the courses that I did very well in were the arts and business,
Mm.
or naturally. What I would say to artists is try and have a balanced life in the sense of, yes, a focus on your artistry in terms of perfecting it. However, still learn the business side of the arts. Learn how to represent yourself, such as how to brand yourself. Do you have a logo? Do you have a business card? Do you have a website? Those are the basics. Do you have a bio, right? And once you have that, then you can go to the next level, such as how do you write an invoice, right? Which is very easy to do because there's so many templates out there, as well as little things. A lot of people, sometimes you see people who are more talented than you would say. And I know in the artistic industry, it is like that where we're like, well, I'm more talented, or I'm a better singer, or I'm a better dancer. Why is it that this person is getting all these opportunities and not me? Right? One thing I learned from my aunt who grew me up in Jamaica was character and good manners will take you out in all four corners of the world. And so the world don't have four corners.
Mhm.
Not what you do as an artist, is how you do it.
Boom. That is it. We are going to repeat that. Say it one more time.
It is not what you do as an artist, it's how you do it.
Okay, guys, are you starting to see a theme here? Because last week we had on another artist and he said the same thing. It wasn't so much about what he did, but it was about how he delivered it. So, customer service. And something else Sanaaj just said about the formula to making an artistic venture a moneymaker is to get that business foundation behind you. I know a lot of artists, they're artists because they don't like business. She just got lucky that she had that two-sided brain. But for those of you artists that have no accounting in your soul, don't even want to learn how to make an invoice, you need a team. You have to you just can't go forward and either unless you do it or you get a partner, a team that will help you do that. So this was, like I said, you were lucky, Sanaaj, in that you had that business side to you. And so even though you didn't know what was coming, you were taking business courses, you were taking artistic courses, and now here you are.
You know what, Erica? I've always been interested in leadership and business. And, I didn't come from a family. I mean, my sisters, thankfully, we have been changing this generation, but my parents are not educated. However, what I grew up were certain values, right, that were instilled in me, such as having integrity, being on time, trying to be as honest as you can. And those were the basic values that I use in my everyday artistry, right? And also, if I did not know something, I was not afraid to say I didn't know. I'm not gonna fake the funk and pretend, yeah, I'm Sanaaj Marie and I know everything.
Right.
In mentorship, right? Be
Mm.
to surround yourself with people, not use people, but surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, especially in the areas where you are weak, right? And not being afraid to reach out. You know, see Erica, I'm like, wow, Erica, I love the way you speak. Can you give me some tips on public speaking? And not just asking Erica for some tips, but also trying to figure out from Erica, what is it that you need in your life? And how can I, as an artist, help you? Perhaps you're doing a show and you need performances. That's how I rolled for many years. Right. Surrounded myself with people who are smarter and also the elders. I find that there are so much like wisdom just there in our grandparents, people who have lived life. And I have sat at their feet, of elders in my community and asked them questions and asked them how I go about in terms of my community and business. So those are some tips as well that
Well, I love what you said. And that was something when we discussed this show that you said you really wanted to touch on was elders and mentorship and how important they are in finding your success. But something you mentioned before we expand on that is I never say that word right. I don't know why I attempted to, but being reciprocal.
right.
Not only constantly looking for who can help you, but also seeing what service you can be of to others. And something else you just said, Sanaaj, which I really love, is asking questions. I think the smartest people tend to ask the most questions. And
Yes.
to some people, it's counterintuitive because they're like, well, if you were so smart, why are you asking questions? Because none of us know everything. And like you, I'm never ashamed to go, like, if I don't know, I don't know. And the only way out is to ask. So I really love the way that so many personal characteristics are part of your business plan.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think that is what leads people to success. Although we're kind of taught, be cutthroat and cut and dry and just do this to make your money. But I think that does not lead to a sustainably happy business. So the elders that you spoke about, and it's interesting that as we shift in time as well, we go from being the ones seeking the mentorship to being the ones to give the mentorship. Do you
Right.
feel that that's a place you're in, or are you still being mentored, or are you mentoring, or is it like a combination of the two?
Definitely a combination of the two. I don't think you can never stop being mentored. Even my mentors have mentors.
That's right. That's right. I
See,
love it. You're dropping the science, Sanaaj. This is it.
my mentors have mentors. It's the same with healers. Who heal the healers? You get what I'm saying? I still have mentors that I speak to sometimes daily, sometimes weekly. However, one thing that one of my mentors, Yvonne Francis, has shared with me is that whatever it is that I have learned from her, pass it down to the next generation. Right? When I was a part of Ngoma Drum and Dance
Mm-hmm.
Ensemble, they said, okay, you guys are learning drumming and dancing now, and so what? It down to the next generation, and that's what I've done with the Afiwi
Mm.
Groove. Afiwi Groove is more than just a dance school. It's more than just a drum school. It is a school where we use those art forms as a tool for social change, mentorship, and leadership development of our young people. I want when the kids come into my school, they leave, and they don't necessarily have to be dancers and drummers, but if they choose their own profession and path in the future, there are certain values that they take with them that they know that, you know what, I got that from a Fury Groove. And right now we have a performance team of young girls ages 17 to 25, and I'm always talking to them about how they carry themselves as dancers. Right now, my dance teachers, if they send me any paper invoice, I'm like, no, I'm not accepting it. Get on to the free accounting system Wave. Send me professional invoices, right? And that's why too my teachers have stayed so long with the school, because not only are they teaching and I'm benefiting from their talents, even though they're getting paid, but I also mentor them in terms of how they can be successful in their businesses.
Well, I do want to say something about that group of young women. I actually had the privilege to see them perform last week. It was yeah, early in the week this week, and they they astounded me. Before they even started dancing, I can tell this audience that their energy, their presence, the way they carried themselves was blinding. You're looking at these absolutely beautiful goddesses that are, and they took up space in the most beautiful way. So even before they were dancing, I was watching them, and it really is a sight to behold. So I definitely see where you're talking about all the other things that really become a part of who you are. And then
Right.
anything you do, like you said, whether it's drumming or dancing, or you become an accountant or you become a hair, whatever it is, there's certain principal factors that make you a good business person, right? And it translates over all medium.
Oh, definitely. I also feel too what worked well for the performance team was COVID, because they got to really bond as young.
Really?
Yes, they got to
So
bond.
that's interesting, because that was going to be one of my questions, Sanaaj, and you actually surprised me there. I wasn't expecting that. I feel that because, my next question was, having such an in-person industry, what it was like to go virtual. And you just said that you think that COVID was good for the dancers. Like, how could that be?
Definitely good for the dancers, good for the school, good for everyone on my team. As much as COVID is not, a good thing right now, there's also, if you really look at it, a good side to every bad, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
In terms of the dancers, I mean, they were busy dancing, doing their thing, but also as young women, sometimes we have interpersonal conflicts and personalities that may clash. Sometimes you're in the studio and you don't really get to know each other. And so after the studio was closed down, I said, okay, well, you guys can't dance anymore, but every single week we are meeting every Wednesday for 2 hours and we are going to call each other out.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we had a call each other out party, right? 2 sessions where if you are having certain challenges with a person, it's not drama, it's like challenges. Let's talk about it. Now is the time to talk about it, right? If you feel like
Wow.
the person is coming too late or and they spoke it out. They spoke it
Wow.
out, they cried it out, and then we healed, together. It was very beautiful. Myself, also, we have a wellness coach, Aisha Santish, who was also a part of that conversation as a young Black woman, because usually the stereotype is that young Black women don't get along.
Wow.
Yes. Very passionate too about that area because I've had those experiences as well. And so with Afiwi Groove School, I told them it's not a place of drama, it's a place of love. And so if you're going to be on a team, let's talk it out. We also have a contract. They signed a contract saying when we're in public, oh
Oh, wow.
yeah, I don't play.
That is amazing. And I love that underlying message because I myself, I have experienced, sometimes negative energy from other women.
Right,
But what I do have to say is that overwhelmingly it's positive. But I think it's also what you yourself emit.
right.
So when you are putting out a certain energy, you tend to get that back and attract it. I mean, obviously, once in a while you run into the stoic faced woman who looks at you funny when you smile at her. But in general, I find my experience is good. And that's what really I found remarkable about that team, that even before they started dancing, they were socializing in the corner and the energy they exuded. So
Hmm.
that behind the scene things you're doing, because it translates to somebody who knew nothing about it, but still felt the energy of togetherness and positivity. So I love that underlying message, that back message that you have, which I think again, it strengthens your dance school, it strengthens your legacy, really. So I think that whole approach, Sanaj, is amazing. And for those that are out there watching, I'd love to know from you too, like, do you have anything like that in your company where you have either students or multiple employees where you really look to keep the company culture positive and
Right.
growing? And I think that's really something you strive hard to do. So speaking about, COVID, how has, like, we're going now into, I think, month 7. I don't even know anymore. Sometimes I don't know my name because of COVID. Um,
It is.
like no one knows what's going on. I actually, for full disclosure, I actually recently started working with Afiwi Groove, and in reaching out to different people, I can't tell you how many people are now off work, how many companies have closed, they're not answering phones. COVID has thrown everything into a situation. So tell me, how has that worked? Aside from the situation with your dancers, overall for Afiwi Groove, how are you transitioning? How are you going from something I mean, people dance together. So what are you doing? How do you make that leap from you can't come here now? Did you close? Like, what are you doing, Sanaj?
Well, the doors were definitely closed because of COVID. And it's funny, it's when it first happened, I had a really tough time trying to figure out what's next, what do I do? I was looking at, others in my industry, trying to figure out what they're doing as well. And my gut said to me, go online. And then the other part of me was like, online? What do you mean online? Who does African dancing and drumming online? I've never ever seen that. And not only that, but what are people in the community going to think as well? Like my elders and everyone. I struggled with it, but the visionary that I am someone who thinks outside of the box. And I am someone who I get very excited about what's not possible.
I love it. I love it.
I remember speaking to someone and I said, this is what I wanted to do. And she was like, girl, no, relax. And I was like, okay, I feel like this can happen. So within a week of the school closing down, I had no idea how to use Zoom. My teachers did not either, but we got our class up on Zoom. Got the teachers in. They were very nervous. It's like a big ocean with sharks, and I just threw the entire team in it. But what I said was, it's time for us to come out of our comfort zone and move with the times. We can't sit down and let life happen for us. We make life happen for ourselves. And so we were able to do an adaptation from our in studio to online. And I would say maybe 95% of our students came with us. The
Woo!
Yes, and I was shocked. It's what people need to realize with your business. Your business should be more than the four corners of a wall. And that is what the Afiwi Groove is. Yes, we were in a studio, but we are a movement. We're a community. And I feel that at that time, we can go in anywhere, right? And thrive anywhere. And so going onto Zoom really worked for us. I got a lot of feedback from the parents saying, wow, this is really awesome. Just the fact that the kids are at home and they're still able to dance, which means that we can still help them with their mental well-being, their spiritual, and their physical well-being.
So the mental well-being, that's a big component of the dance as well. So I think that a lot of people, I do want to speak to that. The education of dancing, learning about the dances, a bit about their history, the connection to your roots and your identity. These are things that are so needed and so important.
Right.
But there's another aspect to dance. And I mean, anybody, I think all of us have danced at one point, not professionally, but as children, most of us did dance at some point. And a
Right.
lot of us stopped dancing. And for those who stopped dancing, you do recall how happy it made you. There's something very freeing and joyous about dancing. And that's where the mental health component comes into play. And then there is something really special about choreographed dancing. When
Right.
you're dancing with other people and you've sat down and you've made a plan and you've practiced together, there's something very special about that. And there's a fellowship, there's a sense of community, whether you did it for a school talent show or just you and your cousins at Christmas, like we used to do. But that is really one of the biggest things that Afiwi Groove does is it speaks to so many of the emotional components and the mental components, and especially during COVID, our children are isolated from each other. They're not going to school. Their whole social life was school, and that's been taken away. So, Sanaaj, as we wrap up, what I'd like you to do is tell everyone what is happening right now with the Afiwi Groove to address this isolation, COVID. Children aren't in school. They're gaining the COVID 5 and 10 and 15 pounds. This is what's happening. We're losing it. So what did Afiwi Groove come up with? Like, what's happened that's going to make this better in the next 2 months?
Oh, yes, for sure, definitely. So, very exciting time and a brand new project for the school. We recently got funded by the Red Cross of Canada and the government of Canada as of their COVID relief. And the proposal that we put to them was that there are underserved Black youths who are being affected by COVID mentally, spiritually, and physically. And African dancing, just like how it has done for me, African dancing and drumming, I've used it as an outlet. I do struggle with anxiety and depression, and that is my outlet. And so I wanted to ensure that young Black kids in our communities have that same outlet. So I sent in a proposal for that. It got funded. So now we have a brand new program. It is called Roots and Revival. And why did we choose that name? Roots, so that we can get our young kids rooted in who they are, rooted in the culture of where their parents are from, whether it's from Africa, from the Caribbean, of the African diaspora, and reviving our mental, reviving our spirit, reviving our bodies. And so it is in two parts. One is drum. We are going to be doing a tour across some cities. We're starting with Kensington Market this Friday. Then we're going to be in the Jane and Finch community on the 10th. We're going to be in Brampton, Hamilton, and Montreal. So if you go to our website at www.afiwigroove.com, you should learn more, see more about that. We also have dance classes for kids for free as well. So if you are an organization that serves Black youths, feel free to reach out to Erica. Her email at Afiwi Groove is outreach@afiwigroove.com, where you can register and help us get these classes out to the young people for free. And this is all across Canada. Our target is we're trying to target 600 youth. 600 Black youth. I mean, everyone is welcome. However, the target is Black youth because we are underserved. So that is the first project that we're working on. Also, we have, and I guess I can announce it here, we got some more funding as well to focus on our Black women, right? So, yes, 100.
Congratulations, Sanaaj. That is wonderful news. Wow.
Thank you. So the focus of that program is called Roots and Revival Groove Queen Edition. What we're going to be doing for 8 weeks, African dancing as well as mental wellness workshops for free for 100 women. So look out for that announcement as well, or you can reach out to Erica to see how you can be a part of it. So if it's yourself or if there is a woman in your circle who you know can really use some counseling and some dancing right now just to revive her spirit, Afiwi Groove is here, and we're going to be targeting the entire Canada. So I'm very excited about that. One more thing. I just want to thank everyone who has donated to our GoFundMe, the Black Youths Matter GoFundMe. We have raised 6,500. But guess what, community? It is actually a real thing. Like, we do have that money. And so you can get access to that money if you want your kids to be a part of the program. It is for free. We have money to give away.
Yes,
For
yes.
free. It's a real thing. I find that a lot of people are not applying for it. And I'm like, why is that? But please don't be shy. You can apply for it and get your kids into dancing and drumming.
Amazing. Well, Sanaaj, again, I am so happy to have you here on Business Takeout today. Thank you for all your insights into the world of merging business and art. I am very pleased to be a part of the team and this monumental effort. As Sanaaj says, you can reach out to me. You can go on afiwigroove.com. But I think that the mission of this school, the purpose, the true purpose of these programs is what really matters. So again, you get to learn something really cool. What kind of dance are we doing, Sanaaj? What types?
West African dancing. So
West
traditional
African dancing. So,
music
if you want
and reggae and dancehall, going back to the roots.
roots. So if you'd like to learn some moves, if you'd like to get the counseling, reach out. We will be posting links on this video when we're done. Spread the word, share the word. We've got to make it a habit to really share what's good. We're quick to spread the bad news. Let's spread the good news. As Sanaaj said, she's giving money away. She's actually like giving away, that video thing. So let's do it, guys. Let's get rolling. Let's get up. Again, Sanaaj, thank you for your time. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to be with us here today. And I do look forward to the follow-up to this when in 2 months I somehow get to corner you to get an interview again. I look forward to that. But in the meantime, between time, you take care of yourself, keep growing your company, and you are very appreciated by us as a community.
Oh,
Thank you,
I
Sanaaj.
appreciate my community as well. Thank you so much, Erica.
Thank you. So for all of you who've joined us here again at Business Takeout, I thank you. Again, links will be in the comments when we're all done and wrapped up. And I will be back same time, same place next week. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.